So we're up here in Lincolnshire again this weekend to check in with Peter and his budget boost hairdresser car build. If you didn't see the last episode, this is Peter's SLK 230, and in here we've got a Mercedes M111 2.3 litre petrol engine. It's got a massive Chinese turbo on it, and today we're going to get it finished off and get it to the dyno. So last time we were up here, we helped Peter out with putting his exhaust manifold on. We got the turbo bolted on. We drove it as the stock car with a supercharger on, ripped all of that off and got him on his way. Since we've been gone, he's done loads of work up in here. The exhaust fabrication's done, the intercooler is all piped up. It's all pretty much ready to go. We've got a few little bits to do in this video before we take it to the dyno. Now, this is Peter's first turbo build, so he's done rather well to get this all going himself. It's on a standalone K6 Emerald ECU, which allows for much more tunability. It's got a gigantic Chinese turbo, as we've mentioned, big Bosch injectors. The theme of this build is, it started off as a bit of a budget build and then Peter got very carried away. But what we're going to do now is we're going to roll it into the workshop. We'll get a few of the bits done, get it ready for the dyno.
Yeah, I know Scott's not here, but we can't really wait for him. We've got to get things done. So what we'll do, I'll film it and Scott can just edit it, and I don't think anyone will know any different. So if you just film me and we'll kind of get on with it. Here we are today in the rolling hills of Lincolnshire. I must apologise for my accent. I had a little bit too much gravy on my Yorkshire puddings last night. I'm sure it'll kind of subside in due course. But we are here with Peter Current Bun's Mercedes. And as you can see, we need to get this sorted pretty quickly because the state of my hair is something horrendous at the moment.
I'll do my Peter impression now. Before we go to dyno, we've got to sort ourselves out a bit of a fuel system here. So the standard fuel rail, which you can see here with the standard injectors in it, is a deadhead style fuel system. There, with a deadhead style fuel system, we don't have the greatest control over fuel pressure or other sorts of things. So what we're going to be doing is fitting bigger injectors so we can get more fuel into the engine to match the more air we're putting in with our Wu-Tang war whistle. And we're also going to be fitting a return style fuel system using our lovely billet fuel rail here. So this is a part we've designed and made for the M111 platform. Now, this is a fully billet aluminium fuel rail, and it replaces the stock deadhead style fuel rail, allows you to run a return style system. It's got M14 by 1.5 threads at either end, so we can thread in these lovely -6 AN adapters, nice little O-ring seat in there. And then that will run into our pressure regulator here. So this basically adds a restriction on the return side of the fuel system and means we can adjust the fuel pressure up and down, which helps us with tuning and all sorts of things.
Would you get one of those if you wanted to buy one for Christmas, maybe?
If you would want to buy one of these for Christmas, these will be for sale down below on our eBay shop. Right, so we're just assembling the fuel rail here. So we've got the old injectors out. So these are the standard M111 injectors. These are a Siemens injector. Ahoy! These are a Bosch injector, an EV14 injector. Now, these are obviously quite old, but the injectors are a different length, O-ring to O-ring. So this fuel rail is designed to work with the standard height injectors, so you can just swap it in if you're doing this before you can afford to get bigger injectors or something like that. So to get them up to our Bosch injectors up to the length of the Siemens injector, we have these little extenders here which will go on, these little adapters. So we'll just lubricate this O-ring here. Oh yeah, look at that. You don't want to get anything inside these injectors because they're very sensitive.
Or on the bonnet of the Humvee.
Or on the bonnet of the Humvee, because that would be really bad. Now you want to be a little bit careful when you're pushing those in, because you can pinch these O-rings quite easily. But then if we look at that, the distance O-ring to O-ring is now correct. With that, again, we'll just lubricate this top O-ring like that. And then we can push in our injector into our fuel rail, simply like that. Oh yeah, quite tight fit that one.
Like a new one.
Like a new one. Yeah, man.
How thick's that anodising?
There we go. That's in there, look.
If you do this twice a week, she'll grow.
I suppose this is probably the first time you've ever put fuel in someone else's car, isn't it? Right, so the fuel system at the front is somewhat complete. So we've got the fuel rail on, injectors in. We've got our feed line here from the pump at the back. That the return then goes out into this adjustable fuel pressure regulator. So here we can set the base fuel pressure, and then we'll put a manifold reference line into the top here. As the boost pressure increases, it will increase the fuel pressure by the same amount so that we're still injecting the same amount of fuel. What we're going to do now is just take off this line and run it into this little catch can here, fire up the fuel pumps, and that will get rid of any dirt that's in the lines or in the pumps or anything like that we've been fiddling with, because we don't want to fire that into our injectors.
Is it coming out the front?
No.
Oh, there we go.
Priming. Still priming. Ah! Oh, it's not working. Okay. No, carry on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, that'll do.
Is the petrol coming out the front end of the car?
It's okay.
Yeah.
He's used a washer bottle to catch it.
Flick the ignition on now. It's all plumbed up. We'll just be ready to switch it off quickly. It tries to make a million bar.
Go.
Ignition going on.
Oh, yeah. Looking good. No leaks. Good news.
Look at that, we've done a thing.
What does it sound like? So what Peter's doing now is just... I like your background, Peter.
Oh yeah. I should change that.
He's just scaling the map to suit the new injectors, because they're much bigger, and we don't want to be putting quite as much fuel in it. Right, the injectors are scaled. Make it begin.
Go try it.
It runs.
Very rich.
Yeah, you'll get that. Oh, nice and...
What does it lean off when it's...
Beautiful, yeah, it's one sweet as a nut, mate. That was fire.
Right, so there are a few little electrical gremlins that we've now solved. A few bits in the ECU. The trigger point for the pickup on the flywheel was set wrong just from Emerald. We got that all sorted. Seems to be running okay now. The dyno's at 8:30 in the morning. So... Right, so it's a nice fresh Lincolnshire morning. We're off now to the dyno. Nice cold start there. The plucky German. Everything's obviously back together, tidied up. So we had a few issues last night, mainly little teething issues, little bits of wiring, some bits in the map that were incorrect, but that's fairly standard stuff. So we got it all going nicely. It's obviously not very well tuned yet, but that's what today's all about. So head off now and get some petrol. and go and see if we can blow it up on the dyno. So this is quite cool if you've never been in a tuned or sort of turbo car before. This is a boost gauge, most people know what that is, but this is a fuel ratio gauge. So this sniffs the exhaust, it's got a little sensor in the downpipe, and it measures the quantity of air versus fuel in what's coming out of the engine. So it helps you tune it, so you can get your air to fuel ratio correct and get your engine running nicely. You're gonna put real fuel in it or cheap stuff?
Real stuff. Get a free coffee if we get 30 litres in it. Listen, I don't want your attitude. I don't want your attitude. Like, just because you're a YouTuber and you can afford a Sweden kit. Some of us are still in the real world, Scott.
Right, well, it survived the morning, which is shocking, quite frankly. We made a maximum power of 335 horsepower, which don't know yet, but I reckon is going to be quite terrifying in this shoebox of a car. So what we thought we'd do now is bust out our new favourite toy, the Draggy. So we've got it sat there on the bonnet of the car. My phone's hooked up to it. We're going to do some quarter-mile testing. The only trouble is we don't have an abandoned airfield up near here that we can use. So what we're going to have to do is drive up to the speed limit, and then we'll stop the test, and I'll give you a really good guess of what it might have done had we gone up to a quarter mile.
Doesn't like it, does it?
No, been a club, well, allegedly. So obviously we only managed to get up to 60 mile an hour there, but what I can say is working through a little bit of maths here as we're driving along, if we were to have done a quarter mile, it would have done it in about 16.19 seconds, and it would have done a lot better, but our stock clutch is slipping quite dramatically in the high gears, so maybe something to address later.
What do you think of it?
What can I say? Still actually drives rather nice, that I will give the tuner. Done a fantastic job of the drivability of the car. Turbocharger large would be the word I'd use. I'm thinking of a word, it's taking a while to get to me. Lag would be a big part of this build. Exhaust, quiet. Turbo, quiet. Fuel pumps, unbelievably annoying. No one would ever know. And then when you want to get past the high alerts, you've got to be a little bit gentle with the clutch, you see, because still on a stock clutch here now. So too many aggressive manoeuvres does lead to a bit of clutch slip. Engine does actually, with the partial 3-inch straight through. Peter's not had quite enough time to finish his exhaust yet, so he explained to me yesterday how it's nearly a 3-inch exhaust system. He's only done the front half. It's jolly, I would say.
shining, you see, so...
Are they? Did I do that well?
Well,
Is that what you were hoping for?
Oh,
No.
what's happened with the light? Look.
I love the first time we've had it sideways is with no power.
What's going on?
Oh, that's probably because it thinks it's had a crash. Oh, it's not raining. Does go well.
That's 60.
Yeah.
It gets to 60
What
quite
that is quite enough. Well, I think we can safely say Peter's managed to build himself here a nice, fun little car. Now, it may not be the prettiest or the fastest, but what it is just the right amount of power to get you excited, maybe kill you if it's a little bit wet, but most of the time you will live after driving it, which is exactly what he was aiming for. Now, the plan going forward with this is obviously, as it's probably just right for the chassis now and a nice thing to drive, he's going to carry on, make it more powerful and likely completely ruin it. But that's just part of the fun, isn't it? So with this engine platform, we are going to be developing some more parts. The next thing with this engine will be to make up a new aluminium intake manifold, which I think we're going to try and develop using this as a bit of a test bed for that. That will allow us to push more boost through the inlet manifold, as these plastic ones don't like taking high boost for too long. The head gaskets on these engines are also a little bit weak from standard. They're just a fibre head gasket, so Peter's got himself a MLS head gasket, a multi-layer steel gasket and some head studs to stop the head from lifting off and leaking out the exhaust, the gases leaking out the cylinders, because we don't want that. Clutch is slipping rather badly. That's not getting better as well. That one doesn't appear to be bedding in, so...
Not like the brakes.
Not like the brakes, no, they're really, you can hear them bedding in. Lovely! So that will be the next phase of the project, is to get this one a little bit more finished, a little bit more power orientated. Now he knows that everything works. And then from there forward, he's got some ideas to sort of rip it out and put it in something else, but that's all early days for that yet. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing what Peter's managed to create for himself, and I hope you look forward to some more updates in the future. See you again next week.